It sounds like a really kind of bizarre and creepy gender studies experiment on a college campus, but it's being mainlined into children's programming all over the world.
Well, it sounds like the behavior of a sex offender. I mean, normal people don't sexualize.
We were just talking about that. Tucker Carlson, right on cue. Wow, yeah. I mean, I don't want to be the one to say this. It really sounds like Disney is a giant pedophile. Just like as an entity. It's just one giant pedophilic entity. Right? Kind of feels like that. Well, the guy who brought you CRT is happening is also bringing you that Disney is trying to come for your kids through teaching them that other people exist. What's wild about this story, by the way, about the war on Disney, because apparently Disney is just going to gay, is that Disney actively was spending money supporting politicians who passed the Don't Say Gay bill. So anyone who's aware of that, probably, I'm guessing a lot of LGBTQ people on the left, despise Disney. Also, if you're on the left, you already probably hate Disney for the whole monopoly thing. Yeah, trying to become like the only source of entertainment for everything. So that part probably makes you hate it. But now the right are obsessed with Disney because they think there's some strange wokeification of Disney just because Disney did what most corporations do after the fact, which is really try and do this whole press PR, oh shit, we fucked up kind of thing, where it's like, hey, don't worry, we actually support the LGBTQ community, and like we have a whole bunch of cast members who are gay, and don't worry, we have some trans ones too, and we're gonna put gay characters in movies. Yes, you're gonna get maybe 2 gay kisses this time. Yes, perhaps a lesbian kiss and then another lesbian kiss. You'll never see it coming. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, we may even explore new ideas, things we don't fully understand right now, like asexual relationships. Either way, we love you. And so because of that, there's a war.
The governor of Florida has signed a bill banning teachers from talking to small children, ages kindergarten through 3rd grade, about their own genitals or encouraging them to change their gender. The overwhelming majority.
So it's not encouraging them to change the gender. You cannot discuss gender or gender theory at all, which is very weird. It's very bizarre. Now, I understand you don't want to get into complex theories about gender ideology or anything like that with kids. Fine, that's fine. But not even being able to talk about gender at all is just utterly bizarre. You're going to stand in the room and be like, which bathroom do I go? No. It's like, okay, my 2 mommies. No, we don't use that word in here. What, mummy? Yes, mummy is a gender term. We don't use that here. I was like, wait, what?
Overwhelming majority of Americans, including of Democrats, agree with that because it's common sense, and the alternative is disgusting and probably illegal. But at the Walt Disney Corporation, they were infuriated by this. Disney called an all-hands meeting to discuss new ways to indoctrinate children.
They funded this
without their parents' knowledge. Ruffo obtained footage from that meeting. Here's the executive producer of Disney Television Animation
Disney
bragging
gave
about,
lots
quote,
of money to the politicians who passed this bill.
As many shows as she can.
Our leadership over there has been so welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda. I don't have to be afraid to let's have these 2 characters kiss. Let's in the background. I was just,
man, Fox News is so good at this. So these are 2 totally separate issues. Like I said, Disney actually funded a lot of the right-wing politicians who passed the Don't Say Gay bill. And now, as they're doing this whole kind of like corporate PR thing where they're trying to really pull everyone back and be like, hey, we're not actually transphobic, homophobic. Don't worry about that. We're very pro-LGBTQ. They're doing segments like this, but like these 2 are not directly connected. Tucker's doing a very good spin job here.
Anything queer in the show. I'm proud of them. But I just was like, no one would stop me, and no one was trying to stop me.
Okay, so here's Disney's diversity and inclusion manager explaining that the company will no longer use the words boys and girls. Watch.
Last summer, we removed all of the gendered greetings in relationship to our live spiels. So we no longer say ladies.
Isn't this what you're asking for at the end of the day, Republicans? If you're like, we don't want kids to discuss gender at all. It's like, oh, okay, well, that's weird. But so I guess you can't even refer to them as boys or girls. Like you become gender abolitionists in a strange way. Not maybe in the way you expected, but if you can't discuss gender at all, then yeah, that would be pretty weird. Pretty weird for you to talk about anything related to gender at all. So buttons.
And gentlemen, boys and girls, we've provided training for all of our cast members in relationship to that. So now they know.
Oh yeah, okay, well this is Puddle Dive. This is when this stops being funny. because obviously it's hilarious that Tucker Carlson wants to fuck a chocolate candy. It's hilarious that Tucker Carlson thinks potato men and potato women should never be changed into either or, things like that, right? That's all hilarious. But this incarnation of conservative moral propaganda is scary due to shifting tactics. They changed strategies since the Bush days, the fundamentalist agenda. The amount of OK groomer and leave our kids alone is really concerning. The OK groomer part is so normalized. Like, pedo jacking should be something that is considered quite serious. If you are just like it downplays the severity of actual pedophilia. So if you're just running around and being like, okay groomer, like James Lindsay's entire fucking Twitter, if you just scroll down it, like every other tweet is like, okay groomer. It does a huge disservice to victims of child sexual abuse, as well as people who may become abused in the future, because you're trying to make this seem like it's not a big deal. And they're doing this on a mass scale right now, where it's like, anyone who supports abolishing the Don't Say Gay bill is actually just a pedophile. Yeah, every single one of them. There's just millions and millions of pedophiles in the world right now, apparently.
It's hello everyone or hello friends.
Jacketing.
Degendering your children without telling you. Chris Ruffo is a journalist and a filmmaker and quite a reporter. He got this footage, as he's done many times in the past on related topics. We're happy to have him join us tonight. Chris, thanks a lot for coming on. So what exactly was that?
So this was an all-hands meeting in response to Governor DeSantis' legislation, where Disney had assembled their LGBTQIA activists that they've set up within the company, and they said
Ruffo blocked you, really? Is this the same Chris Ruffo who was also the CRT guy?
that they're deliberately trying to take programming that goes from even ages 2 to 7 years old and inject queerness into that programming.
I thought I recognized his face.
They're trying to really make all of their programs this left-wing gender ideology compatible. And they're even doing something, I think, that is at the height of hypocrisy. At the same time, they're falsely accusing Governor DeSantis of implementing a don't say gay policy, which is not true at all. They were systematically and simultaneously telling all of their park employees to eliminate the words ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. They're projecting onto the governor what they themselves are doing. We've caught them on tape.
I don't know if that's actually what's happening, because you have no idea when it comes to like these two and Fox News in general. But if that was the case, Disney, it would be way easier. Just add MBs. It's just one word. You don't have to eliminate everything. If you want to be more inclusive, you don't have to like get rid of all gendered language for all time. You can just include the people that you weren't before. It's pretty all-encompassing term.
And the evidence is damning.
So they have a sexual agenda for 6-year-old children. So right there, you think, well, you know, you would think that's illegal in some way. It's certainly immoral. It's creepy as hell. And yet, you know, they're the country's leading purveyor of children's programming. That's a problem, no?
That's right.
What's this? There was a memo that went around, you know, when you get exactly what you wanted and still complain about it. Attention parents, a teacher in Palm Beach County, Florida shared this template with us. It has been shared amongst teachers for grades K to 3. How do you feel about this? What will you do when it arrives homes in your child's backpack? Time to take a stand. Dear Florida parent caretaker, the Florida House of Representatives have recently ruled that classroom instructions by school personnel or third parties with sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not appropriate for development or developmentally appropriate for students. To be in accordance with this policy, I will no longer be referring to your students with gendered pronouns. All students will be referred to as they or them. I will no longer use gendered titles such as Mr. or Mrs. or make any references to my husband and or wife in the classroom. Yeah, well, is this not the logical conclusion of this logic? The logical conclusion of this logic? From now, I will be using the non-gender title mix. Furthermore, I will be removing all books and instructions which refer to a person as a mother or father, husband or wife, and these gender identities that may also include sexual orientation. Needless to say, all the books which refer to a character as he or she will also be removed in the classroom. If you have any concerns with this policy, please feel free to contact your local congressperson. Thank you. Mix. I mean, I think this is a prank, isn't it? I would assume so. I assume this is someone trolling them, but it does I'm sorry if this is what you're actually asking for. If you're like, any discussion of gender cannot happen at that age, it's like, okay, fine. Well then, if you want what you want, that means we can't refer to anything by a gender anymore. Everything has to be, I guess, either gender neutral. Oh, I can't even mention what gender neutral is. I'll just start using perhaps ungendered pronouns.
Right, and I think what we can really see inside the company is that executives made the decision a few years ago to create these activist organizations within the company, first on the issues of race and now on the issues of gender and sexual orientation. And these activist organizations essentially have taken moral...
So with this new age of conservative censorship, is it going to get to a point where like you aren't allowed to talk about anything? Like you can't even acknowledge that there is a societal difference in races, or that people see things like race and treat people differently based on race. You can't mention it at all. Like if you were like, so a white person, like no, you can't mention that. No, out, get. You're just like, wait, what?
Power from within the company. And the executives, who are really cowardly and craven individuals, just cave anytime that they want something. And so all of these videos document that whatever these activists say, they're now creating a tracking program for all Disney children's content to find out exactly how many transgender, asexual, and bisexual characters that they're peppering into the show, either in the foreground or the background. It sounds like a really kind of bizarre and creepy gender studies experiment on a college campus, but it's being mainlined into children's programming all over the world.
Well, it sounds like the behavior of a sex offender. I mean, normal people don't sexualize.
We were just talking about that. Tucker Carlson, right on cue. Wow, yeah. I mean, I don't want to be the one to say this. It really sounds like Disney is a giant pedophile. Just like as an entity. It's just one giant pedophilic entity. It kind of feels like that.
Underage children, period. I mean, they have nothing to do with sex. They're little kids. They're prepubescent. But Disney doesn't feel that way. It seems like a threat, and I appreciate your exposing it. Chris
Seems
Ruffo,
like a threat.
thank you.
Thank you.
The governor.
Well, the guy who brought you CRT is happening is also bringing you that Disney is trying to come for your kids through teaching them that other people exist. Fox News picks up video from CRT alarmists to claim Disney is sexualizing children. Oh, that's what we were just talking about. Oh, multiple people have talked about it at this point. Man, Fox News has found its bread and butter. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It can be like, Putin's war crimes, something else, the war in Yemen, the war in Syria, and all these, economic turmoil, COVID, still really a thing, still taking off in certain areas of the world. But now it's like, oh, nice. Thank you, Disney. All right, yeah, so we'll just talk about the Disney woke agenda and the wokeification of their wokening and how they're too woke for Wokeville. Yeah, let's woke out to that. Sounds good. I heard Tulsi Gabbard has a really shitty video as well. Oh, she's also talking about the same thing. Oh.
You may have seen in the news recently, or you may be a parent who's experienced how parental rights are under attack all across the country as the government tries to usurp parents' rights and responsibility to raise their own children. Now, we should all support the Parental Rights and Education Bill that recently passed in Florida, which very simply bans government and government schools from indoctrinating woke sexual values in our schools to a captive audience.
Yeah. Democrat, apparently. Liberal, apparently. Woke sexual education. Wow. Woke sex ed. It's not just sex ed. It's woke ed.
A captive audience that is by law required to attend. But as I read the legislation, I got to tell you, I was shocked to learn that it only protects kids from kindergarten till 3rd grade.
Oh.
3rd grade? What about 12th grade?
Hey.
Or not at all?
Oh, shit. Damn. Further to the right than Ron DeSantis. Tulsi. All right. Well, hey, you know what's wild? Tulsi Gabbard has a whole bunch of really super yikesy past when it comes to LGBTQ issues. And I remember when I was bringing that up, especially around like the primaries, and a lot of people were like, oh, no, she's apologized for that. It's not really her fault. It has a lot to do with like her parents, and like it's not something you should really go after Tulsi for. And like she's since come around and she's actually very pro LGBTQ. And you're like, oh, okay, sure, fine. No. She's looking for any opportunity to enact this kind of stuff. So hey, yeah. So not only will there not be any sex ed up until grade 12, so I guess effectively you can find that out for yourself, or not at all ever. Like maybe you should just never learn. You should learn on your wedding day. So saith Christ our Lord. But on top of that, no acknowledgement of gender. Like you can't even talk about gender until grade 12 or not at all. So just maybe never talk about it. Yeah. Oh my. Tulsi. How did you get to the right of Ron DeSantis on this one? That's super intense.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free. Just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we are prepared to conduct many a human sacrifices in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble yet incompetent jesters, trying in vain to bring some levity into your life. To our Lord Trevor R., we give you thanks for this meager plot of land for us to toil away our pathetic existence. To our brave knights, Carl Wauer, Tony, D.M. Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Mayred, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruben Kelly, Brendan, Words Greenwood, Nate, Hagbird Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Jenna Tal, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojak, Saren 42, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosen, Agent NDN, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We salute our mighty heroes off to conquest some bread in some far-off lands.